Hello everybody and welcome to another video. So in this video we're going to look, predict and guess what potentially the new Beastmen are going to be. So obviously they're going to be the next faction up for the old world, faction I'm very much looking forward to. So let's jump in and we'll have a little talk about the Beastmen. Okay, so the Beasts of Chaos, they're in a really weird position right now. They are currently coming to the end of their year of being competitive in Age of Sigmar 4. Obviously, they were Age of Sigmar 4 released last year, and Beasts of Chaos and Bone Splitters were basically moved to Legends, but given an index that was going to be supported for a year. And obviously in a few months time that year is going to be up and Beasts of Chaos will pretty much no longer get any support. But we also know that the range is moving to Warhammer the Old World, and there's probably going to be some pretty big changes in it. Now, of course, they're going to get an Arcane Journal. They have their army list in the Ravenous Hordes book. And they're going to get a couple of things. But the main thing is what I want to talk about is potentially what new kits they're going to get. And I think there's a good chance that I can put a guess on that. So I kind of mentioned this in the live stream if you watched 2-inch Charge the other day, when we sort of look back at the year of Warhammer the Old World. But we'll have a little bit more of a discussion about it here and more. So first things first, we're probably going to get a selection of plastic heroes in the form or the classic heroes that we've got. So the Bray Lord or the Beast Lord is probably going to come back. Now we did get that new plastic one up on the channel. And what I'll do, and yeah, so we did get the new plastic one that come out during the end of 3rd edition for Age of Sigmar, and it came out of the blue. It was a very weird, interesting release. It kind of just popped out, and it was like, oh, there's a new Beast Lord miniature for the Beast of Chaos. Now, bear in mind, up until that point, there was actually no Beast Lord miniature for your Beasts of Chaos army. You could scour the internet and get one of the older metal or fine cast versions of the Beast Lord, but Games Workshop themselves weren't actually selling a Beast Lord miniature at that point, which is a bit weird considering that they had rules for it. But they produced this model, and we got this model, and he was quite nice. He was pretty good. He kind of worked quite well with the sort of the Underworld's range, and the aesthetics was actually quite interesting. Also, while just before this model come out, there was a lot of rumours of the Minotaur element of the army being given an update. There was a lot of rumours in regards to the Bulgors and the Doom Bull being changed, either a new plastic kit or a Doom Bull coming out in plastic. Now, those rumours never went anywhere. And I remember even likes of Honest Wargamer talking about these rumours of a new plastic Doom Bull and new Bulgor kit, and nothing happened. Now, this could be safe to say that that is potentially an old world rumour that was sort of put into the Age of Sigmar, because obviously no one expected what was to happen to the Beasts of Chaos in regards to Age of Sigmar and the Old World. So we could guess that maybe we could get a new Doom Bull. Now, the Doom Bull is or was a metal miniature and then switched over to a fine cast miniature, and we all know that it's not really going to stay fine cast. Now, they could produce it in the new Forge World resin, which is actually quite nice. It's a really good material. The sort of miniatures that I have got so far from the sort of however they've changed their processes and making of the miniatures is really, really quite good. So, you know, there's a chance that it could be quite nice. Personally, I think there's a chance that there could be a new one, but possibly not. I think the new hero that we're going to get is a little bit different. Now, we have the plastic Bray Shaman, we have the character Bray Shaman that we've seen at the LVO, So I think that is definitely, obviously, the shaman side of things. But there's one hero that I think we're going to get, and that's a Centigor hero. Now, the Centigors haven't been seen on the tabletop for quite some time. In fact, I don't think they ever made it into Age of Sigmar. And if they did, I can't ever remember seeing them on the table. The miniatures themselves, I think, were like a box of 5 metal Centigors. I remember even like fantasy players back in the day who collected Beastmen didn't really want to buy the Centigors because they were pretty expensive. They were kind of like the old Blood Knights when the vampires got the new Blood Knight sculpts that were metal, and they were like £50 for like 5 models. And in those days, £50 was a huge amount of money for a unit of 5. I know that you're pretty much paying like £35-40 now for a box of plastics, but back then, like, this was like 8th edition, 7th edition, 8th edition. You know, like you were still paying like £50 for like a box of 5 miniatures. It was huge. So I think the Centigors are going to get a new kit. I do think that they're going to get potentially a new plastic kit, because they're the one of the kits out of the whole range that I do think kind of needs it. They're not very good. They are metal, and I think it would probably go a long way to sort of really help that range in the old world. Also, the developers and the designers of the old world seem to have a thing for cavalry right now. Cavalry seems to be incredibly strong in the game, seems to be very much a focus for where they want to take the game, which, hey, as a Bretonnian player, I'm all for that. So I do believe that the fact that the Dragon Ogres and the Shaggoth have now moved over to the Warriors of Chaos, it kind of leaves open a nice spot in the Beasts of Chaos range for the Centigors to sort of take that sort of slot as the cavalry element to it. So, yep, I can fully see a character or a hero model, a sort of character model for the Centigors to come out, as well as a new kit for Centigors. I think that's a sort of good sort of prediction. So you could say to have that. Next, we're probably going to get the classics, the Gors, the Ungors, the Bestigors. I think these 3 units are going to make up the Battalion box. I think that the Battalion box will consist of about 40 Gors, 24 or 20 Ungors, and then about 20 Bestigors, entirely plastic, about 60 miniatures, and then that'll give you, essentially almost like 3, 4, potentially 5 units worth of models, which would be kind of cool. I do think that's probably what the Battalion is going to be fair. On top of that, you've then got the chariots. Now, you've got the Tuskor chariots and the like. I do believe they were a plastic kit. Could be wrong. I'm pretty sure they were an all plastic kit. Potentially, they could come out as a plastic kit if they already aren't, but I'm pretty sure they were a plastic kit. And I think that we'll also see a returning favourite of the Cygor and the Gorgon will probably make a return, which is really cool because they are really, really cool miniatures. Like, you've got your own Beastmen giants, basically, and they are very cool. I also think you will also get returning favourites such as the Cockatrice, potentially the Chimera, but not too sure because that is in the Warriors of Chaos book, and it is like a mount. But you can potentially also get the sort of the Slaughter Brute and the Void Spawn are big giant monsters, and it kind of fits with the Beasts of Chaos. You also get the Jabberspire and the Razorgore. Now, there were also rumours in Age of Sigmar at the end of third edition, of a plastic Jabba Spire coming out. Now, there was a lot of rumours in regards to Beastmen, which never materialised. None of it materialised. And part of that was the Jabba Spire was apparently a new plastic kit. So maybe these rumours were actually for the old world, so it would be kind of interesting. So yeah, I think we'll definitely see those, and they'll be in the resin, the sort of Forge World resin, I do believe, because they were quite old kits. Now, obviously, returning models for the sort of mix, the sort of made to order, it's like the returning metals. You have a host of Beast Lords in metal. You have the Beast Lord with the 2 axes. You have the Beast Lord with the 1 axe going over his head. I'm really hoping for the real classic Beast Lord, where he's dragging the woman behind him by her hair to take her off, to do whatever the Beastmen do with their captives, probably murder and eat them. And then there is obviously the really cool, awesome Pestigors, Zangors, and Cornigors, and Slangors, the 4 cult Gors. I expect to see coming back as well. And then there's the classic Minotaurs, the old metal Minotaurs, the old metal Doom Bull, and the metal Minotaurs themselves, which would be really, really awesome to see. But yeah, that would be kind of cool. I think the range itself is going to be quite big, and I think there's a reason why the Beasts of Chaos are probably coming now, or near the end, rather than before, like at the early part of the release. And I think that's the same thing for the Wood Elves as well, because there are a lot of units in both armies that are pretty old, and they weren't really given much love in regards to kits during Fantasy's sort of lifetime. Like, I do remember when I think it was 8th edition, I do think it was 8th edition in Fantasy, when the Beast of Chaos got updated, it was only really the Doom Bull and the Bulgors coming out in plastic. The Doom Bull had that metal model, and the Bulgors had their sort of plastic kit. And it was kind of weird because you couldn't really run an entire Bulgor army anymore. You kind of could and you couldn't. It wasn't the same as what it was. But there was no real other love. Like, those Gors and Ungors have been around for like a long time. They've been around from probably at least 5th edition, at least, I think. Pretty sure 90% Geek will probably be able to correct me on that one. And you know, they are pretty old. The Bestigors, I think, were a little bit later. I'm pretty sure that they're probably 7th or 8th edition. And they are relatively like one piece, quite monopose that you glue in an arm on, and you know, they're pretty simple to build. So yeah, I think that there hasn't been much love given to the Beasts of Chaos over the years. So I think that's probably the reason why they're probably going to be coming out near the end of the release, and there's probably going to be a lot of love. Now, the High Elves have a big range, and I don't think we've fully seen everything that the High Elves have got to offer yet. Talking about that last night with my mate Dave, who plays High Elves, and talking about potentially what else is there to come, because we haven't seen everything fully yet. And we were talking obviously about the Beasts of Chaos and everything else, but I do think there's going to be a lot to come for the Beasts. I think the Beasts are a very big army for the old world. They should be one of the main bad guys of the setting, because they're so prominent in that sort of that timeline, whereas Chaos haven't really invaded yet. There's raiding parties from the Nausicaa, but the actual full-blown Chaos Warriors haven't really come down yet, and that probably isn't going to happen until Prague and the first War of Chaos with Azavar Kull. So I think there is going to be some pretty interesting stuff, but I do honestly believe that we're going to get new Centigors, a Centigor hero, because it kind of fits, and potentially maybe the rumours that we heard in Age of Sigmar were actually for the old world. But yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting time for the Beasts of Chaos, and I'm fully expecting to see the Beasts of Chaos get their sort of time in the sun with their preview in March at Adepticon, I believe. Adepticon's in March, or is it Gen Con? It's one of the other. It's the first big convention in America in March, and I think that's when we're going to see the Beasts of Chaos, because they're next. I'll probably maybe do a video again later on once I've had a little bit of delving into the sort of archives for the Wood Elves, because the Wood Elves are another interesting faction that have a lot of changes in regards to their range, and has big impacts to how they're put out in regards to Age of Sigmar, because the Wood Elves were not just an army of elves, they were also an army of tree folk or treekin, and a lot of that tree element is in Age of Sigmar as an entirely own faction, which was pretty much the Sylvaneth range. So the likes of your Durthus, your Tree Lords, your Dryads, your Branch Wraiths, all of that kind of stuff comes directly out of the old world, and their kits that are there and prominent, important kits to that faction when it comes to the Sylvaneth. Now, one of the ranges that didn't come over was the old metal Treekin, which was sort of like kind of replaced with Kurnoth hunters with bows and great weapons. So they're obviously going to come back into the old world, but it's basically the Tree Lords that are essentially the sort of big kit that is missing. The Elven part, I think, is probably, okay. You've got the Plastic Eternal Guard, the Glade Guard, the Glade Riders, the Sisters of the Thorn, and all of those type of kits were quite good. But one of the coolest sort of aspects that you're not really going to see is is like maybe new plastic war dancers would be pretty awesome. High Elves are a faction that I've always had a sort of inkling towards and wanting to do. They are really cool. They're elves, so therefore they're really good at shooting and other stuff. They kind of suck in close combat, but they're an elf, so kind of expected. If you want to be really good in close combat, you plan to play a Dark Elf or a High Elf. Wood Elves were not really meant to be fighting on the front line against Chaos Warriors, let's be fair. But they've got some really cool stuff. The dragon and the twins is something I'm really excited about. But this video is about Beastmen. So Beastmen, yes. So just to summarize, I think we're going to get everything back. I think there's going to be some really classic, cool-looking Beastmen models coming from the mid-order metal part, which is really, really good. But I think the new kits that we're definitely going to get, plastics-wise, is new plastic Centigors, the characters and the heroes are going to be, there's definitely going to be a new character or a new Centigor character, either named or unnamed, probably unnamed, and potentially, if the rumours are true, a new Doombull. But we'll see. But that's the video. If you are enjoying my old world content and the rest of my content, please hit that subscribe button below, and we will talk about more old world in the next coming days. I have literally got everything primed for the Paladin on foot video, which is finally getting it done. Said I was going to be doing this painting tutorial over a year ago when the miniature was shown, and I've only really got my hands on him now, so I'm going to get that sorted. And then, yeah, we can get this done. And then I can start getting the painting tutorials out. But it's going to be amazing. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Definitely let me know in the comments what you think we're going to get in regards to the Beastmen. And if you want me to do a video like this for the Wood Elves. And I'm going to be doing another video talking about the armies of Cathay and what I think is probably going to be in that range. Potentially how their battalion box is going to look. And what things we're going to get, because I don't think we're going to get everything straight away. I think there's going to be a wave 1 and a wave 2, because this is an entirely new army. But either way, exciting times for the old world. It's starting at year 2, and I think it's year 2 is going to end with a mental bang. So see you all in the next video. Goodbye for now.